Hey, this is Mr. N going over Savannah's Math 5A First Semester Performance Task Assessment, their PTA. I call it Money Talks Video Project. Major shout out to Mrs. Herrera for developing this project. And yeah, students will incorporate their knowledge of sequences, compound interest, and technology to show mastery of content through a video. Students will work with a partner. The projects are due December 18th, 2017 at 8 a.m. The website timestamps projects automatically, which means they must be turned in before then or be deducted 10 points for every 24 hours. So steps, I have steps over here, and then I also have some deadlines. So step number one, partnership. Well, how do you do this? Here are the details. Students will pick a partner within their class, so same period. Extra credit if Mr. Ring picks your partner. You and your partner will get 6 more points onto your project. So basically you put you in a pool or a hat and I pick, and then that's your partner. Find a camera, find a computer and a camera, test the quality, sound, and volume. So pretend like you're going to record somewhere and just get an idea of what it'll sound like. Step number 2, evidence and knowledge of math content. Students will make sense of problems and persevere in them. Those are called standards of Student Mathematical Practice, SMP number 1. Students will reason abstractly and quantitatively, SMP 2. Make sure to complete your work neatly and show plenty of work. So part 1, you're going to access the Cosmo article. I have a link here, and the further pages are work pages. So I have all these check marks, so you can go ahead and just check them off as you do them. Click on the infographic and double click on the infographic to zoom in and answer questions on page 3. So this is kind of like your table of contents, a big idea of what you should be doing. So you'll see in the later pages that you need to complete part 1 by October 31st, Tuesday. I'm going to give you a stamp if you meet that deadline. If you don't meet that deadline, then you don't get the stamp. Or I'll give you a deadline of when no more stamps. Then part 2, try it on your own. That'll be due November 9th, Thursday. Part 3, analyze. That'll be due on November 17th, Friday. Part 4, both parts 3 and 4 will be both due on November 17th, Friday, right before Thanksgiving break. Step 3, you're going to have some math accuracy. Students will be able to attend precision by double checking their work, SMP number 6. Editing. You guys are going to show me a rough draft of your video on December 1st, Friday in class. Just one person needs to show it to me. Students will use appropriate tools strategically. SMP number 5, students will edit the video by ensuring it fits the required time limits, including lyrics, subtitles, removing wasted time on the video, adding bloopers, outtakes, uploading on YouTube, and turning in your video on mrmathing.net. Students will have the time requirements plus extras at the end, so your video should be between 2 minutes and 45 seconds and 3 minutes and 15 seconds. And then on top of that, you can have up to or less than 30 seconds of bloopers. So last year I researched, so what are the top 3 best free video editing software for your computers, advanced people? I have Hit Film for Express, Shotcut, DaVinci Resolve 12.5, and then this one I called it, one student told me about Pocket Video for iPhones. It allows you to annotate, and then now the new iOS 11, I think, allows you to do screencasting. So here are some other things that can help you. You can do a Prezi and just talk over it and record yourself. YouTube, you can also do screencasting. You can use your phones. You can use QuickTime. What I'm using is Screencast-O-Matic, and then you can just upload that to YouTube. Step number 5, capstone reflection. That'll be due on December 8th, Friday in class. So you're just going to pull up the Google document and show me at the very end. Students will complete a Savannah High School capstone reflection sheet and turn it in a shared Google Doc along with your video link. Here is a link to the capstone reflection, which you've done in many of your classes. So the great thing about Google Documents is that you and your partner can now collaborate together. You only need to turn in one capstone reflection for the two of you, so work on it together. And then when you turn it in together as a pair, and then whenever you need it later on, say your senior year, you can both pull this up and use that. Step number 6 is details on your video include the date, period, school, and teacher name. Students will also turn in a scoring rubric. So this 3-page packet you're also going to turn in on YouTube tag Math 5 2017-18 and Savannah High School and Mr. Mathing. Do not include your names on the video. Make them up. Because you're a minor, make them up. You can become Homer Simpson. You can be Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. I'm creating this video of how to turn in your project. So step by step, I'm going to show you guys how to turn it in. Essentially, go to my website, click on Math 5, and then there's a Google form for you to turn in your projects. Extra credit if you show Savannah pride by wearing school colors, uniforms, and gear together, or have others shout out I love math in a public place, small, fair, quickly quad, etc. Basically above, let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 rough drafts or steps right there, so 5 points apiece, and then your project itself is 100, and then I'm giving you that's out of 130, and then you and your partner are going to split your points, so yours will be out of 65. So go ahead and change that on your paper. So go ahead and write your partner's name here and there. You write your name there. Go ahead into the backside. Backside is an example of a scoring rubric here. So again, if you look at this, that says advanced, proficient, basic, beginning. And of course you want advanced, so I take out of 4 points, and here's the most one, the biggest multiplier is 11. So out of the 100 points for the video itself, 4 times 11 gives you 44. So this is your biggest portion, and we'll talk about the specifics. You're accurate. It tells you all the details, right? Lyrics, details, subtitles, time, video editing. Students can clearly be heard. Definitely test your cameras. Capstone, 3 complete sentences for each. You share the Google document with me. Details, you have date, period, school, teacher, no names on the project. You're turning in a project graded by yourself. That's what it means, pair evaluates. And then extra credit if you want all 3. If you do all 3 of these, then I'm going to give you 4 points and then less points that way. Penalties, talk about that when you turn it in. Work with your partner. You're not working by yourself. If you do, you're losing basically 2 letter grades. It's not worth it. Get an extra credit if I pick your partner. All right, so what is the project itself? So basically you are showing me evidence on a video of you completing basically this worksheet, right? And you can basically do a scenario, real life. You can dress up, Halloween costumes. The more fun you put into it, the better. So compound interest versus geometric sequences, performance task assessment. Again, thanks to Mrs. Ferrer. Part 1, verify the Cosmo article. Compound interest is related to geometric sequences. So go ahead and go back up to page 1 up here. And I need to put in a link. Maybe I'll send this out to you guys. So go ahead and click on that. And you're going to get an article that says how to make more money in your sleep. Okay. And you can go ahead and click on, read through that. And then what I want you to do is right here it says click on the graphic to expand it. So click on it. So it looks like it's kind of small, and then you just double click it. And then you can just press hold, and then you can read all this stuff. Okay? So some really neat stuff about how you can make money in your sleep. So the big idea is what is up right here. This is the big idea there. So after looking at the article, I have compound interest and explicit geometric formula. And you just need to answer question number 1, put your information there. And as you guys are doing this, I want to actually hear you talk about it. In your video, you can just kind of cut and paste that question in there and then answer it. That'll be great. Using both formulas, answer that question. So that's part 1. Part 2, if you go into the next page, part 2 is try it on your own. Get a die. So here's a picture of die. You don't have one, come to my classroom, but I'm sure you have one at home or you know someone. This is called a die. 2 of them are called the dice. And then it says roll the die 6 times and record the value. So if you roll it once, the first roll, write your number, 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 write your number. And then this is going to tell you how much money you're going to invest. You're going to take your first 3 rolls. For example, if your first 3 rolls are the numbers 4, 6, and 1, this is the amount of money you're going to be investing in. So you can put that actually right there. Your fourth rule represents your interest rate. For example, so for example, you roll a 4, you're going to put 4% right there. Let's make that smaller, so percent. All right, your fifth and your sixth rule are going to represent the years. I would like you to calculate your balance. For example, if your rolls are 5 and 3, calculate the balance for year 5 and then 53. That's not a typo. Use roll 5 as one calculation and then put 2 rolls 5 and 6 together using the 5th roll in the 10s place and the 6th roll in the 1s place. Use either formula to whichever you prefer. So again, if you have your 5th and your 6th roll and you roll a 5 and then a 3, so here is my 5th roll. It is a 5, so you just put a 5 in there. And then you're taking your 5th, and then this is my 6th roll, so that would be 5 and a 3, so that would be 53. And those would be the years that you'll be calculating. All right, so that's my 5th roll, and then that's my 5th, and then 6th roll, and then you're going to do your calculations there, okay? And then part 3, you're going to analyze, answer these questions, answer these questions. Part 4, you're going to do some research, real life, answer these questions, answer these questions. And then after you guys answer those questions, so finish all those parts, and then you're basically making a video of all of your evidence. So when I press play, I'm going to see you going through all of those questions. Make sure you're showing plenty of work, you're speaking, you're talking, you're both in the video. All right, so let's go ahead and show you guys how to turn in the project, mrmathing.net. There it is, and then you're going to scroll down here and you're going to click on Math 5. And then you keep scrolling down. There's your quiz and test corrections. Links to get your lessons, and then right here. So this video will be posted right here, first semester, how to do your project. And then I'm also going to put in a link here to see if your project was accepted. So after you turn it in, you can click on it, and then you can actually see everyone else's, as long as hopefully they've left it open. I think it's great to see other students' projects. So here is, you found the right place to turn in your project, and then you go through this. Maybe you're in 0 period, first, last name, Mr. Ing, partner's name, Mrs. Ing. All right, why do I make you put your contact information here for emails? I also have your syllabus e-sign. The reason why is if you have some issues turning in your project or issues with your project, I'm going to contact you. This is mathing@gmail.com. All right, for your capstone, it says cut and paste your capstone reflection Google document. You can make your link private so that only you can either put any of these two, can see it, but make sure to share it with me. If I click on it and it says private, your project will not be considered turned in. So here's a capstone reflection template. Okay, it says view only. I just went to that bit.ly, add it to my drive, or you could say make a copy. And then you copy, you can write your name, and then go over here, share, and then you're going to type in Mr. Ing's. You can do Ing_D. And that way that I can either view or edit it. You can get your link here, copy the link. All right, and then back on my website, we're going to cut and paste your link right there. So that way it's turned in and I can click on it. YouTube. Cut and paste your YouTube link here. Make sure your names are not on the video project. You can make your link private so that only I, Mr. Mathing, that's my YouTube screen name, can see it. But make sure it is to share it with me. If I click on it and it says private, your project will be considered not turned in. So here's my video. And then you can just go down there, share, copy and paste it. Put it right there, press paste. And then answer those questions. Did I tag it? Tagging is on the bottom of yours. I can't do mine. on someone else's video, your video too, when you're creating and uploading it. All right, after you press submit, you'll see the screen says thanks for making math awesome. Your response has been recorded. Let's see if I change the website. So then if you click on right here, click here to see if your project was accepted. There it is, time-stamped. There it is, my link to my capstone. Double check it. You can click on it. You go and your YouTube link, and then over here I'm going to put in, check off that I've graded it. Even award you if you're a top 5 project, so others can see what you did. Now, because Math 5 is a newer class in our district, here's some student examples. You can just type in Mr. Mathing underneath in YouTube, and you should see a bunch of student projects. But it's just the idea of having fun, having the idea of how do you create an awesome project within 3 minutes. So the awesome thing about videos is you can record it, delete it, and do whatever you need. How am I going to break up your score there? So your scores, your grade is 10%. This project is 10% of your grade. It's equivalent to 3 to 4 quizzes, all your homeworks, 1.5 tests. So you're going to get a team grade, and then you're going to split up those points. So let's just say this was last year, so it was out of 120 points. Marge and Homer, they get 118 points. They're going to decide how to split up the 118 points. Okay, maximums you can get is 60 or 100%. So they split it up 59 and 59, right? 59 plus 59 is half of 118. Over here on this team, over here, Bart and Lisa, Bart, they get a score of 80 points out of 120. That's like a D. So Bart realizes, he was skateboarding, having fun, and Lisa was doing all the hard work. So Lisa takes all the points, and Bart agrees to that. So you both have to agree to these scores. So even on a D project, it's possible that someone gets 100% and another person doesn't get a good grade. So again, this project is about 6 points. You pick your partner wisely. You may not want to pick your friend. Although you have a good time with your friend, you guys may not get things done together. Remember, I'm giving you 6 points extra credits, almost 5% if I pick your partner. Ignore that part. I want to read you guys an email. This was an email sent to me last year. I changed it from desperate student. This is 9 minutes before the project's due. Mr. Ring, I know you told us many times to choose the right partner. I give you thanks for that. I learned my lesson so far, and I'm truly grateful for that. This is my fault because you told us not to choose friends as partners, but someone who works hard. I did a mistake again, and I picked you-know-who as my video partner again. Like the other video, I had to do it on my own. I should receive all credits because she didn't help me with anything. I asked her to do the capstone, which she never did, and I can't do it now. The point is that I hope I get full credit, but I also don't want her to know. So you guys cannot leave things last minute. This might be the most complicated, more technological, pushing you guys to do teamwork type of project. So definitely do not wait until the very last minute. I'm going to give you some practical tips to do well in this project. Just because you turn in a project doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get an A on the project. Remember, the most important thing is the math. That's what I'm looking at. So here are some tips. Number 1, are you meeting the deadlines, right? Are you and your partner waiting till the very last minute, or are you guys clear of those deadlines? You can actually work ahead past those deadlines. Those things are just kind of help you get stepping stones to make sure you're on track. Number 2, can I hear you clearly? Again, test your camera. The worst thing is you spend all this time creating your projects, you turn in a final product, and then when I hear it on YouTube, it doesn't sound great. So you might just need to test something, create a 2-second video, and then wherever you're going to record it, and then upload it to YouTube, and then play it back. Send it to a friend, send it to your mom. Can they hear it clearly? Number 3, can I see your work clearly? Sometimes people's cameras maybe not be the best, and you can't see it when you zoom in. When you're talking, maybe the trees rustling, or you hear the cars driving by, or your little sister laughing, okay? So hearing and seeing is very, very, very important. Number 4, did you double check your work? Did you double check your work? Yeah. So have your partner look at it. Have another person look at it. Number 5, Mr. Ng helps. So I'm willing to actually look at your project and grade your project before the deadline. Now that doesn't mean 1 day before the deadline. And as you go along with all those steps and those deadlines and those steps I've given you, I want to give you feedback. So listen to that feedback. Do not wait till last minute. So I'm willing to grade your project before the deadline, give you feedback, change it, but when you turn it in, that's it. Number 6, oh yeah, when Mr. Ng helps, definitely look on your way outside the door there in my classroom or on my website. There's the times I'm available, so definitely find me during those times. Number 6, last one, have you created dedicated time to work? You know, a lot of students, I'm going to give you very, very, very little time in this classroom to actually do the work. So when do you do the work? Well, if I'm not assigning you homework, that's where you need to find out the time. And the goal is to actually make this kind of like the real world, where you're gonna have to find the time, be responsible. So when I say, have you created dedicated time to work? Can you say you guys are going to work every Wednesday after school in Mr. Ng's room, right? Because I say after school every Wednesday. So if you just work on your project, that's, you know, October, November, and December, you got 6 good weeks there. That's 6 hours of dedicated. Maybe you finish your projects during then. Or maybe you guys say every late start, you guys are going to meet up in the library or the computer lab in room 1 where there's computers for you guys to work at. So don't wait till last minute. Don't say, well, I wanted to meet on the Saturdays and my schedule didn't meet up with my partner. That's the hard part, and you guys are going to have to figure that out. Good luck.